Hi there guys and welcome to Sony Gaming. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, drop your questions in the comment section below and follow my live stream at twitch.tv/Sony Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Harpooner's Wading Kilt. This brand new mythic item that came in with Blackwood is making a lot of waves in the world of PvE DPS and with good reason. Both Stamina and Magicka DPS can use this on their builds to great effect and it's an absolute must have. Today we'll be looking at exactly how to find this elusive mythic item, what it does, why it's useful, and I'll even show you a comparison on my Stamina Templar and Stamina Dragon Knight DPS builds, with and without the kilt, to demonstrate how effective it is. So first things first, what is the Harpooner's Wading Kilt and what does it do? The kilt is a medium weight leg item that allows you to gain a stack of 125 crit chance and 1% crit damage when you deal direct damage, up to 10 stacks max. The stacks last for 1 minute and that duration can be refreshed every time you deal direct damage again. This means that you can get fantastic uptime on a total of 1250 extra crit chance and 10% extra crit damage, which is a massive buff for any PvE DPS. Despite being a medium armor piece, you can absolutely run this on a Magicka toon. What you lose for not having the 7th light armor piece slotted, you make up for from this item's effects, along with the extra Magicka you gain from the Undaunted Metal passive. There is one downside to the kilt however. If you take any direct damage, you will lose 5 of your accumulated stacks immediately. What this means is that the kilt is not useful at all for solo play, including overland, delves, public dungeons, and solo arenas, since you'll be the sole target of the enemies in these areas and will therefore not be able to maintain your stacks with the kilt. It is, however, incredibly useful for any group content, such as 4-man dungeons and trials, since realistically, you should not be taking any direct damage in a DPS role anyway. Now let's take a look at where to find it. The Harpooner's Wading Kilt, just like any other mythic item, is found through the Antiquities system, and you will need to increase your scrying and excavation skill lines to level 7 in order to find the pieces. There are 5 leads in total, some of them easy and some of them not so easy. The first lead that we'll look at is called the Silverweave Cord and it's found in Balfoyen. You'll be wanting to go to this area here, the Hidden Dagger landing site, where you will find an abundance of daggerfall enemies spread around the area. These enemies have a chance to drop the lead and some have speculated that the ranged archer enemies have a higher chance to drop it. I'm not sure if this is true, but I do know that I found mine on a melee enemy, so it seems that any of them will do the trick. These enemies respawn quickly and are easy to defeat, so it shouldn't take long here. Next is the Kothringi Cut Leather lead, which you can find in the new zone Blackwood. This piece drops from world bosses, of which there are 6 in the area. Some of them can be pretty challenging if you're not used to facing up to world bosses on your own, but there are plenty of people farming the new area, so you should have no trouble finding some others to get the job done with. It isn't a guaranteed drop, but it does seem like it has a decent drop chance, so again this one shouldn't take too long for you to find. The Ruins of Mazzerton holds the Bog Blue Jasper Fetish, our 3rd lead. This 4-man dungeon can be fairly tricky on vet, especially for new players or uncoordinated groups. But don't lose hope, you can do the dungeon on normal and the lead will have exactly the same drop chance, so don't give yourself an unnecessary headache. Bear in mind that the lead can only drop from the final boss, Treeminder Nakesh, so make sure you see it through to the end. The drop chance seems decent here, with most people only reporting a few attempts before they got it. I think I got mine on the 4th attempt on normal mode. The 4th piece is found in Murkmire and is called the Wolftail Sash. This one is slightly more awkward than the previous 3, so get yourself comfortable and stock up on some bait, because you'll be fishing for this one. You'll specifically be needing crawlers, since this lead only drops in foul water, so it's important that you find the right spots. There are 2 on the map that seem to have good fishing spot spawn rates, up here next to Deadwater Village, and on the other side near Lake Zanmir Mansion. It can take a little while for the lead to drop, so keep at it and you'll find it soon enough. And I've saved the worst till last. The final piece, the Tied Glass Beads, is found in Shadowfen, and the drop conditions are very specific. The lead will only drop from water plants, which in Shadowfen means water hyacinth and nerdroot, along with pure water sources and water satchels. The drop chance is incredibly low and competition for the nose is fierce, so you'll be wanting to set some time aside in your day to find this one. It took me around 5 hours with a couple of hundred nodes harvested before I got the drop, with some people reporting much longer and much shorter amounts of time before they got their drop. Don't give up and keep at it, the lead definitely drops from these sources. So now you can relax, because once you've found all of the leads, the usual task for scrying for and digging up each one must be performed, but that's no different from any other item found in the Antiquities system. There are some useful passives that you can get from the scrying and excavation skill lines, but as long as you're at level 7 or higher in these skills, you'll be qualified to find the leads. So now that you've got the Kilt, what can it do? We've seen the item description, but it'll be worth seeing what the difference is in practice. I've got 2 DPS passes here for my Stamina Templar from Combat Metrics. The first one uses Deadly Strike, Perfected Arms of Reliquant and Perfected Maelstrom Bow, with one piece Slime Craw and of course the Harpooner's Wading Kilt, and we're sitting nicely at 90k DPS. With the exact same rotation, we'll also be using Deadly Strike, Reliquant and the Maelstrom Bow, and Slime Craw, but changing out the Kilt for one Grundwolf piece, and we're sat at 82.3k DPS. This means a total of 7.7k extra DPS, which is about 8.5% more DPS overall for having the Kilt instead of the Grundwolf piece, which is a significant boost. Not every build benefits from the introduction of the Harpooner's Wading Kilt though. My Stamina Dragon Knight build actually pulled lower overall DPS with the Kilt compared to the standard setup. We used a very similar setup to the Stamina Templar, running Deadly Strike and Perfected Arms of Reliquant, but instead opting for a double dual wield setup, with the Maelstrom dual wield and the Black Rose dual wield on the back bar. We cracked 90k like this, but in order to run the Harpooner's Wading Kilt, we had to remove the Maelstrom set and only run Deadly Strike on the front bar, which resulted in 85.4k DPS. This was a total loss of 4.6k DPS, or 5.1% lower DPS overall, which is quite a loss when all things are factored in. This means that builds that are optimized to run 2 sets of unique weapons may well lose DPS with the Kilt, but builds that run monster sets will benefit from using the Kilt and instead just running one Slime Craw piece to boost their crit chance. This means that most Magicka characters will definitely benefit from the Kilt, since they usually don't run 2 unique weapon sets at the same time, but a handful of stamina builds that are optimized to run 2 special weapon sets may in fact lose out a little. This isn't the case for most builds though. So what can we expect for the future of the Harpooner's Wading Kilt? A lot of people have expressed concerns that the Kilt will follow the same road as the Thracian Strangler's mythic item, which was once for a brief period best in slot for DPS before it got nerfed to oblivion. That's a valid concern, and I can see why people are pretty worried about this. However, I do have high hopes for the Kilt. It already got a lot of attention on the PTS from the developers, where it got nerfed a couple of times for being too overpowered, bringing it down to a really fantastic item which boosts DPS a lot, but not so much that it's game breaking, while maintaining a drawback that prevents it from being used or manipulated in certain content. I'm not expecting to see the Kilt get hit hard anytime soon, so I definitely think it's worth the investment overall. And that should be all you need to know about the Harpooner's Wading Kilt. We've covered where you can find it, what it can do, how it works best, and what we think the future will hold for this new mythic item. I'm personally really excited to have this in the game, and I have high hopes for its performance and how it will have an effect on the landscape of PvE DPS. Thanks very much for watching guys, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, drop your questions in the comment section below, and throw a follow over to my live stream at twitch.tv/CernyGaming. Thanks guys, take care and have fun.